I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. We'll just go ahead and get started. I think I know most of you. If not, I'll get to know you shortly. So tonight, well, before we get into the thick of things, give me a second. I'd like to introduce the team. Let's see here, team. Where are you, team? Oh, there's Afia, one of our medical estheticians. Afia, you want to come on up here?
Okay.
Well, the reason I say that is because come on up, right? I mean, even I didn't recognize you when you came to the night salon. So Afia, she's I guess our senior esthetician. Just did her phlebotomy certification as well, and is adept at all the services that we have. So thank you, Afia.
Thank you.
You want to say anything about yourself, Afia? Can I give you the mic?
My face.
And then Delisha, you want to come on up, Delisha? And say, Delisha is one of our medical estheticians. Also got her phlebotomy certification, and is also a certified laser tech. So she'll do the hair removal and some of the other laser treatments. Say anything, Alicia? Yeah? And then my nurse practitioner is not here tonight. Let me just see if they can come up. Give me a second. So Beth Ann is not here this evening, but Beth Ann is one of our nurse practitioners. So you may see her, and she also helps out on the women's health piece of this. So sometimes we have things like vaginal rejuvenation and so forth. So she can always provide those types of consultations. And then I think most of you know our director of sales. Care to come up?
Yes.
All right. Director of sales, Brenda. And if you don't know her, you'll certainly meet her later this evening. Brenda, a couple words.
Don't get me started, Dr. Ron. Hi, everybody. It's great to see you.
You just lost the mind.
Thank you for coming.
Right, I'll just sit
You're
down.
beautiful, too.
Thank you.
You too.
Yeah, thank you. And then, we couldn't have had this event without our director of marketing. Where is she? Come on up. Come on up, Julie. I mean, she takes all of our pictures, and this is like the only picture we could find of Julie. She typically hides from the camera.
I'm gonna take photos. Thank you all for being here tonight. It's a pleasure to have you guys all.
All right, Julie. Yeah, thanks for making this evening possible. And then the CEO. There's a CEO.
Yeah!
CEO somewhere in the back there. Care to come up? So, my wife, Parveen, care to say anything? No. So, as you see on the PowerPoint, I report to the CEO, both at work and at home. So, so there's some. Maggie wasn't able to make it tonight, but sort of our team photos. So tonight, you can see what we'll talk about. I'll talk a little bit about aging. Just about what is it that makes us sort of look older. And then we'll talk about the new technologies for 2022, which is the Morpheus, the face tight, the Elevate threads, and then how we put all that together to create the chin lift, the neck lift, and the non-surgical facelift. So that'll be the program for this evening. So I'll play a video of ours. This is actually on our YouTube channel from about 6 years ago. It's me talking about how what the aging process is about. So you'll be able to quickly see how much I've aged over the past 6 years. Let's see. It really starts out with the skin, and the skin is subject to a lot of sun damage. We don't realize that until decades later. But with all that sun damage, their skin, you get larger pores, you get sunspots, you get wrinkles. So we have laser technology and radio frequency technology and others that will help restore that. The second thing is wrinkles. So it's normal to express, smile, get angry, laugh. And every time we do that, it creates a little wrinkle, but if we do it for decades on end, which is what we do, then those wrinkles become permanent and we don't like it. So typically some neurotoxins like Botox or Dysport is part of the solution to that. The third thing that makes people look older is sort of loss of fat and loss of bone in the face. So over time, the temples go in, and the cheeks sort of shrink, and we need to replace that. So typically, things like fillers or things like Sculptra, for example, will help give us volume in the areas that we've lost volume, typically mid-face, upper face. Gravity takes its toll, and we end up with jowls, and we have sort of non-surgical anti-gravity techniques, if you will. We have non-surgical threads that can help restore the negative effects of gravity over time. All the things that we described, sun, volume, gravity, applies to men and women. So again, the four things are the complexion or the canvas, and so there's a whole host of treatments for that. Next is wrinkles, and people are getting Botox and so forth for a long time. So we employ that as well. Then the change in the bony architecture. So the bones recede, and the chin gets smaller, the mandible gets shorter, and that's where things like filler and Radius and Sculptra come in to sort of rebuild that architecture. And then, of course, gravity. Gravity really takes a toll on just either getting the neck to drop or the jowls to drop. And you'll hear about some really great, I think, anti-gravity, basically some lifting techniques that are minimally invasive. So, the new technologies, Morpheus 8. I think you've heard that name. We'll talk a little bit about that. Face tight, you may or may not have heard that, but we'll describe what that does. And then, of course, probably the newest kid on the block is going to be Elevate threads. So Morpheus 8, there's the handpiece, and our estheticians are very adept at doing this for you. But basically, it's microneedling. So there's a series of gold tip pins that come out. It'll go up to about 7 or 8 millimeters deep into the skin, and then there's a little burst of energy, a little burst of heat, and it's designed to stimulate collagen growth. So it can be set for skin resurfacing. It can be set for collagen growth, and it can also be set for some superficial fat melting. So depending on the depth and the setting. And typically we'll put some topical numbing medicine on you at that point in time. And if you want some laughing gas, we have that as well. So it's a very tolerable procedure. In fact, they've done it on me a couple times, and it is very tolerable, especially with laughing gas. So let's see this little vignette where
we're performing the Morpheus 8 treatment today on Renee, who wants to improve the complexion of her skin by reducing the wrinkles on her face and boosting collagen production.
those pictures don't quite do it justice, but it's a very powerful tool for tightening pores, building collagen, wrinkles, and a little bit of fat melting.
We're performing.
Oops. Okay, and the next one then is face tight. So face tight, and this is the probe that we use. Of course, we'll numb the area up as well, and basically through a small little puncture, insert it under the skin, whether it's to treat the neck or to treat the mid-face or the jowls. And by the way, it can also be used to treat the rest of the body. So, saggy triceps, knees, thighs, abdomen. But today we'll just talk about its application on the face. So it'll contract the skin, it'll improve the texture, and you can, as I've mentioned, it'll more aggressively melt the fat underneath the skin. So here's the animation associated with that.
We're performing the face type treatment today on Linda, who wants to remove some of the fat around her jowls and tighten the skin on her face for a more youthful look.
So that's face tight. So we can get to temperatures that we can't get to just from the surface. So a small little probe goes under the skin. It's nice and numb, and it'll heat and melt the fat and tighten the skin at the same time. And that was actually Barbara's picture. And we'll introduce you to Barbara here in just a moment.
We're performing.
Okay. And then the third technology is My Elevate. So these are actually threads. So it's actually suture material that will plant underneath the jaw to basically elevate the neck. And so it's a permanent suture. It doesn't mean that the results are permanent. I mean, these things are going to last like 7 years, just like facelifts, for example. But there's nothing else. There's nothing else out there, really, including surgical neck lifts, that are going to give you a sharp neck, as sharp a neck as the My Elevate threads will. And again, we'll do this just with some local anesthesia and a little bit of laughing gas in the office. So here's how it goes. We'll numb the area up. We'll mark the skin, make a couple little punctures here. We can also then basically past the suture, comes up here, it hooks behind the ear, comes back around, comes here, we cinch it down, and we can tighten it up as much as we want. And there's several people in the audience that have had that, so towards the end we'll just let them tell you their personal experience. In addition to that, and this is basically how it's. All right. In addition to that, we can use the same technique to divide the bands. So when people show their teeth or they express, you get these bands, and we can actually just divide them very comfortably in the office with nothing more than just a couple little punctures. So if you take those three technologies, the Morpheus8 microneedling, the face tight for the fat melting and the aggressive skin tightening, and the My Elevate to cut the bands and to suspend the neck, then we put that together in sort of three packages. The first is, and these are in your handout materials. First is just a chin lift, if you will. So with this, we use a face tight. So basically, through a small little puncture under the chin, we can go in, lipo the chin. Again, in the office with a little bit of sedation. Lipo the chin, and then use the face tight technology to melt the fat and tighten the skin just right here. For some people, that's all they need for the double chin. And let's see. Jennifer. Yeah, there you go, Jennifer. Yeah. So So Jennifer, so with Jennifer, and again, we'll have her speak in a bit, but you know, when you flex your neck, then there's a double chin, and there's also multiple folds, and then there's jowls as well. So we did more than just the chin lift. I mean, you know, for Jennifer, we did reduce the jowls with a face tight. We lipo this area, use a face tight to melt it, tighten the skin. Then we put the threads as well to suspend the back. So, you know, I have after pictures, but I don't know. Since you're here, Jennifer, just come on up. So, yeah. I mean, I'll put the after picture up. This was about I think it was like 2 weeks.
That was actually, yes, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks after. Yeah, this was 2 weeks after after the whole thing.
And it's still like I'm still a little swollen, but not badly. And the difference is night and day, as you can see. It's absolutely.
Pictures about what, 6 weeks
I think
ago,
it's
maybe.
6 weeks.
Yeah, it's about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what happens when you bend your neck down? Yeah. Right. and you
Want to
come
show my
up
teeth?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
ugly before pictures if you guys want to see them. Because all these afters are better. Like,
So when you show your teeth,
When I go to the front?
yeah, you don't get the bands,
I
right?
don't know.
You don't get the
I have
bands.
4.
Right.
And I didn't know it till I told
Watch your step. Yeah. So it was through, you know, a little puncture under the ear, a little one, you know, a couple here and there, and then one underneath the chin. No, I think we put a stitch in, but basically this is like no stitches.
No, there was nothing to remove afterwards. It was simply, you know, just, you know, stay in a good position. And you bruise a little bit and a little swollen. And I went out to dinner 2 nights later without anything. It was fine.
I'm sorry, how many days later?
2 days.
2 days?
So literally I had it done on a Friday.
On Friday, yep.
Saturday I just laid low. Okay. Saturday I just kind of laid low and took it easy on the couch. It was my play day. And then Sunday I was kind of back up and around doing my normal thing. Went out to dinner that night, just a little bit of makeup, no big deal. And then since then it's just been just you maintain. You just kind of keep wearing the you know, the support when you need to, and then it's amazing. There's no removal of sutures. There was, you know, it wasn't gory. It was actually really pleasant, and I can't believe what's happened since then.
So you want to tell about your brother-in-law? Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So my brother-in-law is a dermatologist up in Ocala, and he, for years, has done like my Botox or whatever, you know, the fun stuff. And so I was, okay, so I told Dr. Imami, I was like, and I apologize, I lost my voice this weekend, but I went to Ocala, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago? And I said, I just want to see if he notices anything. And I was in the last 10 minutes of my visit up there with the family, whatever, and I'm like, I have to tell you a secret. And he's like, what? And I said, I just had that, you know, my Elevate non-surgical facelift and the face tightening. He looked, he goes, he was speechless. Could not just believe what, you know, it was kind of funny because I was like, if he didn't notice, you know, it was good that it wasn't, it's 3 weeks after you've had this done and he's not examining me. And I was just there this last weekend, you didn't know this part, this last weekend, and he was truly checking in. It's like, that was very, very good. So it was very, you know, edifying for me to know that I made the right decision.
So, I mean, you saw her afters live, but you can see, I mean, when you flex, obviously, there's, you know, it just doesn't fall. Combination of lipo, a little fat melting, skin tightening, and then the threads. And again, in your handout material, well, it has it talks about you know, the discomfort or lack thereof, downtime, etc. And feel free to mingle with several of the ladies, and they'll tell you personally exactly what their experience was. And then, the same thing. So that was the chin. If you want to move to the level where we do the neck, so it would be a combination of the lipo and the face type here, but we would extend it to the neck and tighten, lift the neck, if you will, tighten it, and put in the suspension threads. So that's sort of option 2. We blend the liposuction along with all three of these techniques. And I think Barbara's here, right, Barbara? Yeah. You want to? Let's get Barbara to come on up. So similar to Jennifer, Barbara had the face and the chin and the neck, but I think I just want you to watch your step there. Watch your step. What I really want you to focus on with Barbara is her neck. Right? So if you go back to these pictures, right? Yeah, this is with this very mild expression. You can see the neck bands, and typically we would put some Botox or something there, but it can only do so much. So now, if you show your teeth, or look up or look down, this was all done the same day, so about 6 weeks ago. Yeah, about 6 weeks ago, and maybe I can just have you share your experience, and then.
Yes. Well, I think it was totally amazing. And every time I read the brochure and it asks about the comfort level, and it says, was there any pain? And the write-up says it is tolerated well. Well, let me tell you, there is zero pain. I experienced absolutely no discomfort during the procedure or after the procedure. So Dr. Imami prescribed some tramadol to have after the procedure, should I needed it. Well, now I've decided that when gasoline goes up to $6 or $7 a gallon, I've got some to sell. I didn't need any. If you're thinking about this and you're kind of scared that it might hurt a little bit, don't be afraid. It is absolutely painless. In fact, I kind of like to get back into that laughing gas.
It is actually
It's a wonderful procedure, and I'm so pleased with my neckline, and I just think it's wonderful. I think this whole, and I really don't even know what all you did. I don't know, I said to somebody a minute ago, it was from here to here, but I don't know what all happened. But it was wonderful. And
You look amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is 4 weeks later, but you saw the 2 week. The results are very quick, and the downtime is minimal. Okay, and then. And then.
So much better.
And then the non-surgical facelift is a combination of the chin and the neck, and then on the face. So we then do the same strategy on the face. We'll go ahead and lipo some of the jowls. We'll tighten the skin along here. So that's a third feature that's added in the signature non-surgical facelift. So it includes the face and it includes the neck and the double chin. So Renee's in the audience, and this is just a couple of weeks. Yeah, Renee, you want to come on up? So we did all three the same day 6 weeks ago. So they're all 6 weeks out.
Yes, it wasn't painful at all. It was very easy. I was hesitant, but I was so determined I needed to fix my chin. And as you can see, it's improved a lot. Mine was really wrinkly. Do you have a front picture?
Let me see if I do. Actually, it's
And I had really
yours,
bad
yeah.
bands, so this has greatly improved my smile. I feel more confident when I look forward. And then I know my profile is better. So I feel comfortable. And it was very easy procedure. There was no pain, just like you said. It's a little tight at first, but it's kind of like a welcoming feel because you want to feel tight.
Tight is good.
Tight is good. You're like, yeah, I'm going somewhere with this. But eventually, I feel normal now. And there's another lady, she's had hers more recently, and you said you're still a little tight, but it's not painful. It's all easy, and it's all well worth it. You know, there's no cutting in this. It is what I had been looking for a long time. So, and I'm still swollen, so I know it's going to improve, you know, even better. So I'm satisfied, very satisfied. I recommend it to anybody. If you're thinking about it, I would highly recommend it. And you want to do it before you get too old. You're amazing, because I know you're older than us, and you did amazing. But it's usually better for those who are in that in-between. You're not old enough, you know, to get a facelift, but you're ready for something in between. And if you're that early 50s, you know, you're really, really good candidates like you.
And I saw her, we saw each other maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we were comparing.
Yeah.
And then seeing you now, I'm like, oh wow.
I'm better,
like,
right?
It's just, it just continues to improve.
It continues to improve, yes.
Are you game to take the stage? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. So
you need to tell them I'm your problems patient.
So Beth Ann had really a combination of the non-surgical facelift with a little bit of surgery. So she had the double chin. We elevated the neck. We cut the bands, and then you had heavy jowls. I didn't put your pictures up because this is an impromptu. But what I also did for Beth Ann is that we did added to it like a mini surgical facelift in the office. So small, just in front of the ear, so that way I can go under and actually pull the jowls up, tack them up to up to the front of the ear, if you will, and then removed about ½ an inch or 3/4 of an inch of skin. So it just really tightens the profile. So we just took her stitches out yesterday.
Yeah, he just took my stitches out yesterday, and I've done really well with that. I don't have a very good pain tolerance, and I don't listen to directions because I think I know better. So the procedure itself absolutely didn't hurt, didn't feel a thing, nothing at all. Okay. Now, I was very bad about my little 4 bags of peas that I was supposed to ice, and I didn't ice like I should. So my first 2 days, I will tell you, I did hurt, okay? But basically, out of all the pain pills you gave me, I only really used 4 Tylenol with codeine, and then after that, I just did the Motrin and the Tylenol. But, I'm really happy with it. I mean, it's been 10 days, that's it.
Wow.
That's it, yeah. And it's a big difference. Like, my manager just saw me today for the first time, and she's like, oh my God, you look 10 years younger. So my 60 is going to be the new 40.
I was really nervous about doing this because I have vitiligo. Does anybody know what that means? Vitiligo, your skin is really thin. I have no pigment. I'm just sort of next to an albino, except I guess albinos have normal skin texture. Mine is like paper thin. I'm like parchment. So I was really afraid that as he did the procedure, that my skin would just rupture and just break apart, and that I would bruise until there was no return. But he said, well, if anything like that happens, we'll just quit. So I thought, okay, I'm game. But absolutely, there was nothing to worry about. I had very little bruising and no complications. So it was really nothing to worry about. So I think that no matter what your skin texture or composition is, you don't need to worry about it. It's a fine procedure for whatever that happens to be. So I just wanted to, sorry I didn't think about that earlier, but she reminded me of that. So thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Barb. So, with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions, any broad questions that you have, and if it's specific questions, then we can just take them in the consult room. Any questions? Of course, Barbara and Jennifer, Renee, Beth Ann, they'll be in the audience, and I just say that you gravitate to each one of them, and they'll share their story with you. Okay. Danny?
Yeah, I can take over. Thank you.
You want to
so
take
much.
over? And then when you're ready, you just hit the forward button for the console.
Alrighty. All right. So again, thank you all so much for coming. Again, we will break off into those mini consultations from here. We have Jessie that will be mingling around if you have questions about the device itself, about the procedures. Of course, we have all of our beautiful testimonials that look amazing. As you can see, really, Dr. Imami's signature treatments, really they're something that I don't think that he gave himself enough credit for is really how amazing he is, how amazing these procedures are, and really as cosmetic procedures start to become a little bit more of the social norm, we're all here, which means that we're all interested. These are all issues that as we age, we want to look like the best, most rejuvenated, awake version of ourselves. And so really finding someone as skilled and talented as Dr. Imami who can offer that with minimally invasive procedures as well, so that we don't have to, go under general anesthesia or deal with the complications of, extensive surgery and things like that is really something that we are all so grateful and lucky to have options for, and amazing providers such as himself. So the remainder of the evening, I'm going to kind of draw our grand prize winner, which again is going to be $1,000 towards any of the procedure packages that we talked about tonight. So $1,000 towards that. It will probably be me, like I said. And then from there, we'll break off just right behind us in this lobby directly behind that will kind of usher you into it. There are so many delicious treats. Everyone worked so hard to make this such an amazing evening for everyone, but we will have 3 consultation rooms working. We will try to keep them at a minimum, so come prepared with questions and anything that we can ask pertaining to your specific treatment plan. And then there will be staff and, like I said, Jessie around to answer any questions about the device or anything that arises. And we'll try to move through those consultations fairly quickly for you and get you back home, all right? I'm going to reach in here now. Drum roll. Drum roll. All righty. Ingrid. Yay! And we do have a few other prizes they'll be raffling off throughout the evening, so stay near, okay? All right, ladies, thank you so much again for coming. I don't even think I introduced myself. My name is Danny. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop me, ask me, but we're going to get moving on consultations, all right? Okay. There we go.
Drop the mic.
There we go. Ingrid, there is your certificate. Congratulations.